welcome everybody. This is going to be a news of the week from the players of our and fans like ourselves. We're going to be talking about War Commander tonight, and there'll be three of us that's going to jump into topics from topics, hoping to bounce from each other. First of all, I'll just go down to an introduction with a new presenter, and his name is Data King, known as Timmy. Hopefully you'll see him a lot more on Battle Vortex, just like you see me and Rocket. Obviously you got Rocket in the middle there, you got Timothy on the right, and then you got myself, Jano, on the left. Timothy, what's your Data Kick? Sorry, what's your topic for tonight, buddy?
Preview server just dropped last night. Veteran units, level 11, thorium based, received 2 different attribute boosts, health and damage. And we're going to talk about some of the units that are going to benefit the most from that, and try to get to a couple other topics, some hot items on the forum. I guess let's get started.
Good, let's do it. Let's have a. What's your topic for tonight, Rocket? Have you got anything to input on?
Not a whole lot. I mean, you guys will know more about the preview server than I will, because I haven't been playing on it. Was in a war last week, so I can talk a little bit about some of the techniques that I used and had used against me. So that's pretty much all I've got for today.
Happy days. All right. Well, obviously for myself, there's going to be. I'm just going to jump into some of the topics that Tim's going to be talking about, and as I was in preview as well with Tim, I managed to see some of the level 11 units, or veteran units, as you want to call it, but in theory they're just level 11, aren't they? You know, there's nothing really special about the veteran units apart from the increased health and damage that Timothy was talking about. As far as attribute, I don't really think there is any attribute towards them. They don't have any special abilities at level 11. I mean, fill me in.
Not like they were when we received the level 10 and they got it complete across the board, and some of the units such as the laser tank got increased armor versus laser and plasma weapons.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular, but there's going to be a bunch of units that are really going to benefit from this, such as the Hellstorm gets you a health boost, damage boost, which is great because they're pretty much flying paper airplanes. Hellfires are going to benefit. Elite Hellfires, they're going to benefit from this a great deal. And everyone's favorite unit, the Elite Riflemen, it's going to be walking Terminators.
Woohoo!
walking Terminators. 150 of them roaming the map.
Me like the Elite Riflemen.
Yeah, the Elite Riflemen, they're great units. Personally, my favorite, the FAVs. I'm not a big spammer of FAVs, but did it in the preview server at level 11, and I actually attacked Jano with them, and Jano's base is very, very well set up to combat these units. And I wasn't able to make a dent with 5 full platoons of 10 FAVs in his base. I wasn't even able to get to I think I did half damage on his silo. So, but on an average player's base that doesn't have the second generation weapons, they're going to be able to do a great deal of damage. I actually went through the preview server and I hit a couple other bases that didn't have as formidable defenses, and I was able to flatten them with 2 platoons and actually go home with actually some fresh units still in that platoon.
Jesus.
So, yeah, if you're able to use them correctly, and I'll get into that a little bit later. I'll elaborate a little bit more of that when Rocket starts talking about some tactics and things. I'll jump in. There's a couple things that I want to add.
Yeah. This is what from what I figured out on with the FAVs and the base setups. I believe that you know, shock tanks are a big thumbs up, especially in a base. Not only that, but with the combinations of the turrets, the layout of the walls, the setup of the turrets as well. You know, if you got all them in a correct position, with the combination of the units that you've got in the base, then you're definitely going to have a very strong. A very strong base against most units. I mean, I believe my base would have been able to take out mega tanks, any ground tanks that would have been chucked in there. I would have been able to counteract. I mean, even Hellfires. I had some other guys testing out my base with Hellfires, and to be honest, they didn't get very far. And that was me just watching them. You know, how can I say it? Just watching them do all the hard work, whilst my units are like set on stand and aggressive modes. There wasn't much they could really do. I mean, over the time, if they kept on attacking and attacking and attacking, queening their units, obviously my base would have fallen in the end. But the idea of it is, it's not gonna fall within 1 or 2 attacks. And if you throw a full 5 platoon into my base, I really don't think you'll be walking away with any platoons in the end of your attack.
And as always, it's not about bubbling someone's base now. It's about your losses and what you gain.
Yeah, which I've always supported from day one of me playing this game. You know, from the time I started, we've always gone. I've always thought of, if I take a lot of resource from you, I'm the winner, regardless of how much units I've lost, because obviously the resource that I've taken from you is what's gonna replenish all my units back to health. You know, so I think to myself, I'm always going to be a winner, regardless of how much troops I lose in your base, as long as I walk away with a fair amount of resource from your base. That is, obviously, if I lose more units on a base that I'm attacking, and I only walk away with, like, say, 1 or 2 mil, and then give them a bubble, to me that's a loss. You know, there is no way doubts about it. It's going to be a loss. What you got to say? What's the rest of your topics, Tim? Me?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going around the forums, and a lot of people aren't very happy about a lot of things. And I know these things don't get talked about on Battle Vortex, but this is something different.
Yeah, that's all right. We're not Battle Vortex.
Yeah, I want to address a couple things. You know, there's a lot of people out there crying about glitches and bugs and disconnects and just general problems with the game. And you guys got to understand that when we find these things out, we bring them to their attention, and it's not just, you know, spacebar, type a couple numbers in, couple letters in, hit the enter, and it's all better. These things take time. There's multiple layers of programming and things that have to be done in order for these bugs and glitches to be worked out. And if we're not actively reporting these issues to them in a timely manner, and we let them continue and continue and continue, and then go on the forums and complain about them, they don't get fixed when we want them to. So as long as we're letting KIXEYE know that we're not happy about certain parts and things that are happening, and letting them, you know, making them aware, then everything will work out in the end. You know, as far as cloning platoons, that's a glitch that they're aware of, and they're working on that. And I spoke with Bert, and he knows all about it. It's getting taken care of, but it's a big fix. It's not something that's going to take a couple days to get done, because there's multiple things that have to get done with it. I'm not going to get into how it's done and what needs to be fixed as far as in the game, but you know, there's a lot of programming has to be done. A lot of code has to be written and rewritten for these things. So they're fixing them. They know they're fixing them. So don't worry.
Happy days. As long as KIXEYE knows. I think the most important part about it is, obviously each player has a responsibility to report the glitches, the bugs, the hacks, whatever. You know, if you report it one time, you've highlighted it to KIXEYE that, you know, it's getting used, or it's getting abused, or it's getting exploited. You know, I've always told some of my friends that, you know, as long as you've reported the dirty deed, Kickside will know about it and they know exactly what to look out for. You know. But as for the whining, there is a lot of whining on the forums recently.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I've stepped back from the forums. I'm not posting as much as I did before, because 99% of the whining are actually, how can I say it, legit. You know, especially with this level 11 units, or the veteran units. I personally think that Kickstarter's gone the wrong way around it. You know, the way they've coded it all up, where it takes up resource and thorium and time, even though it's all like 5-minute fix to upgrade it to that next level. It's not a 5-minute fix, because you got to think about the waiting time for the thorium. Then you got to think about the time to collect all the resource to get it all. You know, the metal and the oil. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it can be. But let me chime in there for a second. There's a reason they did that. They chimed in there. That's why they put out special ops a few weeks ago. You attack these rogue bases. You acquire some of these really good special ops. You get 100% loot boost. You get increased depot production. You go out, you grab yourself. Now I'm going to say this now. Don't bother with the giant depots. They're a waste of time. And the time that you can go and acquire one giant depot that has 1 million thorium in it, you can use a loot boost, or not a loot boost, you can use a depot boost, go out and acquire 4 large depots in half the time it would have taken you to acquire the giant. And you can acquire, you know, 2.5 times thorium, and you can also do that by hitting a rogue base and using a loot boost as well. So you go out, you use the one, you acquire all the thorium. 5 minutes later, as soon as you get your amount that you need, you hold your 2 million. But as soon as you get close to approaching that plateau of 2 million, you've got to go out, hit those rogues, get those resources, use that thorium, and then, you know, you're going to need to have multiple special ops to acquire all the resources that you need to make it timely, make it quick. Last thorium drop, I had 13 large thorium depots. I upgraded 9 units in one day.
Right, I'm just going to cut in on there, Tim, because I understand you saying that you had 13 giant or large depots, and you can use all these spec ops to do it, but at the end of the day, the spec ops are very rare. Not only that, the thorium is rare on its own. I mean, me and Rocket have recently jumped into a brand spanking new sector, and between the sector, I think there must have been about 50 odd players in that sector, right? And the thoriums that we had on there was maximum of 20 thoriums.
Now, is that based on the amount of players in the sector?
It's based on the amount of players. I mean, I'm gonna end up jumping in the next 2 or 1 day anyway, to get not because of the thorium. It's because I like to jump around. But you know, the thing with that is, even when you're in a populated sector, it's still a rare depot to come across. You know.
I guess it's based on the individual and the sector where they're in, I guess, yeah. But it can be, what I'm saying is, though, it can be achieved, it can be done.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying it can't be done.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it's not in everyone, you know, there's for a sector, there's only going to be a limited amount of thoriums. As much as you're saying it's easy to get, which it is easy to get, and I fully agree with you, but the majority of the players are not going to be able to get it. It's only going to be a minority of the players getting these thoriums because they are stronger. And even when you do collect that many thoriums, you've got to think about it, right? If you do not spend that thorium, it's going to overload on your vault, which you can only carry 2 million, right? In turn, even though if you get, well, say about 20 giants, as far as I'm concerned, you have to be logged on 24/7, making sure you're collecting res, making sure you're spending that thorium at the same time whilst it's building up. And it is, you know, I don't really think, what can I say? I don't really think Kixeye has thought about it too much, because I personally think that the level 11 units, or as Kixeye stated, veteran units, I don't think it should cost any res or any metal, any oil or any thorium. It should be based on the battle experience each of your platoon or units that's been in battle. You know, this is where you get the veteran levels from. This is even in general. You know, most veteran. Why do you call them veterans? It's because they've been into a lot of battles. They've seen a lot of battles. You know, you can call me a veteran in the game because I've been in a lot of battles. I've been in clans. I've been in wars. I've done this. I've done that. Many people that's at my level or current level have done exactly the same. I mean, I'm sure Rocket, you've been like you said, you've got tactics coming up now. That makes you a veteran because you know it all. You know exactly what it takes to be a veteran player. Which this is where I'm trying to get at into Kixeye, that I believe that what they've done is they've gone the wrong way around this veteran level. What, you know, they're not that they're stating it as a veteran when it's not even a veteran really. It's just another level of a unit, which in turn is not really a veteran, is it? Come on, Tim, you got to agree with me on that.
Not really, no.
I like where you're going with that, but then you also, I mean, I wanted to ask you too, as far as the preview server goes, and the amount of, I was just looking at that picture that you put together with all the level 11 veteran units, and I was kind of just looking at all the resource amounts for a majority of them. Really not that much. Did you really look at them? Yeah,
that's because I chose. This is because that's my personal preference that I'm going to be upgrading first. But if you go into the higher tiers of the units like Hellfires, Mega Tanks, they're extremely expensive, buddy. They're like 30 million or some in metal and oil alone, and then you got the thorium on top of it. You know?
The elite Hellfire. I'll share this picture with you. I'll put it up on the screen. Level 11 Hellfire. Level 11 Hellfire. It's a little smaller, but you'll be able to see it. It's 27 million and 24 million and 760,000 thorium. For substantial health, I mean, you know, another 10-15%.
Wait. I can't quite see. What did you say? How much it costs?
I think it's 24. Let me look. It's 27 million metal, 24 million oil, and 760,000 thorium for an 11% health boost and an 11% damage boost.
So what's that? Say about four bases, 4 rogue bases, or 6 rogue bases.
Yeah, with the 60% boost, say it's 9, 18, it's three level 30 bases at a 60% with a special ops boost.
Yeah, but you can't guarantee that you're going to have a special ops.
Well, yeah, and then at that rate, yeah. But then you concentrate on your most frequently used units. You concentrate on your attack units, your defense units.
Yeah, that's where I've put that list together. Obviously, I've showed the picture of them, but that's going to be my personal list.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, my personal list at the moment is Elite Riflemen's, Hellstorms, and FAVs. They're going to be the first 3 units. Oh, FAVs, I say FAVs has to be the flamethrower men as well. Because obviously, whatever goes inside the FAV level units is going to be exactly the same level units as what I've got in my academy. So, you know, in combination of them two, I'm going to have to build them up. What were you
another thing I want to add too, that I noticed this in the preview as well, the repair time does not increase.
No. All that's been increased is all that's been increased is the health and the damage. No repair times have been increased. There's no extra special abilities to the units at level 11. And this is what I'm saying. It's just a regular level 11 because, you know, it's an upgrade. It's not a veteran level. It's not a special thing that you can acquire through your skills. It's just another one of them
But
things.
I like that.
It's just going to be another one of them things that you how can I say it? You level up just like a regular units, really. So the veteran, even though Kickstarter have inputted that it's a veteran level, it's not a veteran level. It's a next level. You know, they really need to prioritize the naming of this, because I think it's wrong why they call it a veteran, because really it's got nothing to do with the battle experience. And I believe the veteran level is the battle experience. You know, I don't know what you guys are thinking.
I like where you're going with that, because I mean, you know, for prime example, you could have a level 26 player that focused on, you know, 3 or 4 units to upgrade them, got them to level 10 quickly, has not been through the trials and tribulations of War Commander.
Exactly.
Hasn't experienced wars.
I mean,
it's exclusively road bases, you know, and why should those units that he has be level 11? I understand what you're saying. I like the thoughts behind that too. I mean, make it, you know, I'm spitballing here, but I make it 40 bases destroyed with, you know, with Hellfires, and
yeah,
you get to upgrade with thorium and then a certain amount. I mean, you know, I can see where you're going with that.
Exactly. Come on, Rocket, you're mighty quiet there in the middle. Let's listen to a bit of your tactics and what you've been through in your little sector lives, where you went into wars. I'm interested to hear all about it, buddy. Let's see what you've learned.
Well, one thing is, people really do love spamming FAVs, and I don't know a whole lot about the cloning glitch that's going on, but some of the stuff that I saw happening was it looked like people were jumping platoons in and out of their base. I don't know if that has something to do with, you know, with them taking advantage of the cloning glitch, but you know, I agree with you guys. You know, bubbles don't mean anything. Your base will heal up from all the way to the dirt to fully healed up in 1 hour. You know, of course, your defending platoon will take longer, but your base itself will grow back 100% in 1 hour.
Yep.
But in the game that I used to play, Backyard Monsters, another Kickside game, you know, and then kind of crossing over into this, it's always been, you know, the point of any war is to take as much as you can while spending as little as you possibly can of your own resources to do it. You know, do the maximum amount of damage, you know, take the maximum amount of resources with the least expenditures on your part. That, in my opinion, is winning and losing. You know, I mean, guys, whenever somebody spams your base, with, or you kill 82 or 83 FAVs just so they can get a bubble on you, and, you know, and cost you, you know, 2.5, 3 hours worth of base repair time without glitches being available, guess what? You won. You know, because they're going to be repairing those 80 plus FAVs, especially at level 10. They're going to be repairing those for days.
Yeah, unless they coin it, or unless they've been using the bugs that's around at the moment, you know. But yeah, you're right.
You know, and coining's fine. I mean, you know, if coining's what you want to do, if you want to spend all your allowance or your milk money or your lunch money or whatever on fixing up your little digital army, man, then hey, brother, more power to you. But in my opinion, if we're fighting each other and I make you coin, I'm winning. If I'm not coining and you are to keep up with me, then that means I'm winning. And actually, it means kick size winning.
Yeah,
well, got somebody spending money on their games. The other thing that's going on a lot, and from what you guys have been saying about the preview server, the E-Rifleman, that's the latest thing. You know, you got 3,200 spaces in your base for base defenders, so put 160 E riflemen in there, or 320.
Wow. I
That's
put
what a lot of people are
208.
doing.
I put 208 in mine, and the rest of it is just secret hidden units that's gonna be a surprise to whoever decides to attack me. Like someone found out, ate him.
But you know,
I hate riflemen.
yeah,
I
everybody
hate
does.
riflemen. And constant disconnect. Constant disconnect.
I don't know, mate. You didn't do too bad in my base.
Previous server, yeah, I disconnected 3 times.
Yeah, but that's not bad though, is it? I mean, you did get your full attacks on my base in the end, regardless of you.
Yeah, but if I was in a war zone like Rocket was in and I disconnected 3 times, and I'm finding this is happening a lot too. I'm disconnecting in the middle of a battle, say 3 minutes in,
Yeah.
and I'll reconnect, and my attack will be ended. And then all of a sudden, I'm having platoons being sniped, and I'm losing all my attack platoons because
You see,
the battle ended.
That was a good thing about battling me, because I don't bother with platoon. You know, I personally don't think that when I go 1-on-1, I don't want to take away the advantage that my attacker has on my base by sniping his platoons. I want him to use his platoons in my base and lose them in my base. If my base falls because it was weak or it wasn't set up correctly, then fair play to the attacker. He's just showed me my weak spot. You know, this is why I always invite people to my base and say, come on, you know, give it a try. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a game, and you know, we do it because we know it's the thing that's going to be happening. We're going to be attacking each other. We're going to have fun doing it, and then you can take the piss out of me later, or I'm going to be taking the piss out of you because you lost. How many was it? 5 tunes of FAVs.
5 tunes of level 11 FAVs.
Oh wait! What was that as well? Was that a missile that came into my base?
Yeah, it was a Peacekeeper and 3 Griffins.
And none of them landed.
No, one Griffin landed.
Oh,
that was it.
What, really? I don't remember.
Yeah, one Griffin landed, hit the silo. I was hoping I could knock the silo out, and that would help me punch a hole to get through. It didn't work. Didn't work. Your Slayer drones were doing a number on my FAVs. That's what it was. But I was lagging so bad, I couldn't control my unit. I couldn't, you know. See, that's what it is. When I see a base with 320 riflemen, I look at it and I shake my head and I go, no, not today. Not today.
Now, one of the missiles I found that did actually, or you know, it won't work all the time, but it worked for me fairly well. You know, once I kind of got a feel for it, is the bases that had 320 riflemen on them. That one missile we have, the burner.
Oh yeah.
What you can do is you can pop one. You know, especially if they have the riflemen spread out all over their screen. You can pop one right at the edge of their base and then send a couple of Reaper drones in them. And if they're on, if all their riflemen are on aggressive, it really works good. Because once that burner pops, it'll sit there and you'll have a burning area there for a little bit.
Yeah, you can actually you can bait those riflemen into the napalm field. Yeah.
And guess what? You know, it takes a little bit of practice to get it where you can work it. But if you have one that you're having problems with all those E riflemen on, then and you want to clear out a side so you can maybe get some air in there, you know, get your Cobras established so they can and they'll outrange the E riflemen on the ground. Mm-hmm. But pop a burner off in it and then send in, you know, something fast like Reaper drones, or if you have copter drones that are level 10s, you know, they're fast too. Mm-hmm. Sending something like that to bait them over into that area and just watch them cook, baby.
What level's your burner?
Level 2, or I think it's level 2.
Great health on that missile. That and the Peacekeeper have great health.
Do you know? I'm just gonna give a little tip here about the missiles, right? Before you start upgrading them to level 5, I recommend you choose a specific missile that you're gonna use constantly. First, build 5 of them at level 1, and then this is just a little trick that I came up with. I don't know. There's probably other people that's thought of it as well. but I'm just gonna input this into this show. First build 5 of them at level 1, and then start upgrading them all the way up to level 5. By the time you go up to level 5, you're gonna have 5 or 6 or however many missiles you can hold at level 5 without having to fork out for the extra cost of building them at the level 5 stage. You know,
Right.
you're gonna be already at an advantage because you've already got the level 1 rocket missiles. But once you've got them up to level 5, you never even had to buy use the thoriums res to build them up to level 5. You know.
That goes for a lot of units as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the units are a lot longer, isn't they? I mean, the
missiles to go up to level 3 on most of them is like 7 days.
Yeah, but that's 7 days. You're not going to be using the missiles, regardless. Right. You know. But once you get it up to level 5, I mean, I think level 5 takes. It's not as long as the units are they? The units can take up to 3 months or 2 months to max out.
Right.
Yeah.
But whereas, and that's going to be 3 months or 2 or 3 months of you not being able to play because you've already built these units and that's all you've got for now, which at that current level. But with the missiles, you don't have to worry about them because you're not going to use them at low level. I mean, unless you've got strategies like you said there, Rocket. You know.
I mean, one thing that everybody's got to keep in mind about the missiles is, they work good under certain circumstances, but hey, man, those things are expensive. I mean, anytime you launch a missile, we're back to the reserve spent versus a resources spent versus resources taken. So you've already skewed that that way of looking at it, that formula out of proportion because you spent 5, 6, 8 million of each plus thorium on some of the missiles. So you gotta kind of weigh it out. They're not good to be spammed.
No, you're right. They're not. They're
some kind of glitch.
Yeah, they're not the type of units that you should be spamming. But you got to think about it. Like once a higher level reaches a stage where it's got absolutely nothing else to upgrade, even the missiles or buildings, anything, units. Let's say he's maxed out everything at level 5 at max level. Once that higher level gets to that stage, there's not really anything that he's going to be spending thoriums on. I mean, thoriums, metals, oil, they're just going to go stale in his storage. So this is given us high levels something to spend our res on, our time on, to collect even more, whilst we can carry on spending the res that we're collecting.
Well, my heart still breaks every time a missile gets shot down.
Tim, what was your face like when I shot most of your missiles down?
You shot my level 4 Peacekeeper down. I said, "You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me!" 10 FAVs, they're flying in, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay." It starts lagging. Peacekeeper launch. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna punch a hole right here." Boom, shot down. I'm like, "You're kidding me!"
Mate, what you didn't understand?
It's like 40 million resources.
With all them riflemen.
It was in the preview server, but I mean, still.
With all them riflemen, buddy, you got to think about it. What was backing up the riflemen? I had 4 towers really close to each other, and each one of them, you tried to land that Peacekeeper close to the riflemen's, which had behind them watchtowers, and what's inside of them watchtowers?
Stingers and riflemen in there too. Yeah. So what I did though is now maybe we can talk about this a little bit since we're on the whole rifleman thing. I call them little baby Terminators. Let's talk about combating these riflemen in a base, because I've tested this a few times. I've tested with elite Humvees. I've tested with elite lasers. I've tested with gas. I've tested with mixed platoons, gas.
It's not
Humvees, FAVs. It's nothing. Armor, tanks.
The only thing that I have found that you can put a dent in a base full of elite riflemen is more elite riflemen.
Yeah.
And yes, if Chano's got level 10 elite rifleman, he's got 320 in his base. We're just going by example.
Yeah.
And I can fit 150 of them in a platoon. His 320, even if he's got them spread out, he's basically going to kill them. Probably 1.5, close to twice as many of my elite riflemen.
You got to think about my go-go bar as well. I've got an extra 18% damage.
That's But right, yeah, because he's got 18% damage bonus on his. Now, the good thing about spamming elite riflemen is in an attack on a base with the elite riflemen is that they can be repaired quickly. If you have 2 platoons of 150, you can attack with one, take out as many, elite riflemen as you can, before all your guys die, take them back to the base, and you can actually heal 12 or 13 elite riflemen at a time for free.
Down and do it, yeah.
Right, yeah. Disband the platoon, add them back in, 12, 13 at a time, and you can repair them, free as far as time goes.
Yeah.
That way. The bitch part about that is that's a lot of freaking clicking.
A lot of clicking.
It's a lot of. But and hitting some of these bases that were loaded down with the E-Rifleman, like I said, the burner thing worked good, but that threw out what I'm spending versus what I'm taking, so it did work, yes, and I had a couple of them to burn up, but basically, you got to look at some of your other units also. I mean, a while back, I went from 5 Hellstorms down to 4, and added 5 level 10 Cobras in my airfield.
Yeah.
And my Hellstorms are level 10s also. And then then also 2 Reaper drones, and that's what I use for air. But on the bases that have the E-Riflemen spread out, you can drop 1 platoon of E-Riflemen and basically just kill as many of them as you can. Get yourself a foothold where your air's going to come in, and once you drop your Cobras in, even if his guys are set on aggressive, they're going to be coming in, and your Cobras will sit there and kill them off as they come in. There was one base I hit. He had all of his E-Riflemen set on aggressive, and the first time I did it, I dropped in a platoon, knocked out as many of them as I could, ended the attack. Then whenever I re-attacked, that whole area was cleared out because they all went back to their original position. He had them scattered out. And then I dropped another platoon of B-Riflemen in, and I also dropped in I dropped in a smaller platoon of B-Riflemen, and I had some E-Gats with them. And I also dropped my Cobras in, and guess what? That one I lost nothing, and he lost he lost like 200 E-Riflemen. It was
ouch.
It was pitiful.
Ouch.
It was pitiful. My guys were all watered up a bunch. I actually had the E-Gats behind them, and they came in, and it was kind of sad. But he learned from that, like a good player will. And the next time, he had them set on just regular,
normal.
Yeah, on normal.
Yeah.
And that did make it a little bit harder because then you had to move, to where you got within their range before they would start coming at you.
It's all about smart playing, though, really, isn't it? I mean, even though you're spamming stuff, spamming is an overused word because it makes you seem like skillless, but really, there is a skill towards spamming. Many people will probably disagree with me right now and say you're chatting a load of shit. Excuse my language, but let's say like I had two FAVs and some 2 FAV platoons and a Hellfire platoon, right? I'd use the Hellfire to take out anything that was that would make it a lot harder for my FAVs to get through. As I've done in many bases, I've used that strategy. Once I've done everything that I could possibly do with the Hellfire and Hellstorm, I retreat them, send out my FAVs, you know, and then blow that hole open then, and then resend my Hellfires back in and completely annihilate the entire base. As you're saying about pulling in, baiting riflemen's, you know, what's the best thing to drop on a rifleman that's in a big pack? It's either you're gonna use Thunderbolt or Raptor. But if you throw in one FAV in there, it's gonna annihilate the whole bunch. You know, they're not even gonna be, because you've also got your Hellfire your Hellstorm missiles trying to land on the elite riflemen, so they're concentrating on shooting the missiles on that, whilst your one FAVs, you know, slowly but surely getting closer to these elite riflemen. There's many ways of using the spamming technique, all right? Even though there's going to be many people that will disagree here, that it's just skillless, it's not. There is a decent technique to using a spam unit. Like many people used to say about the winged drones, it's skillless, but it's not, again, because, you know, you're gaining more from using that unit than you would be using another unit, because they're getting the job done, whereas another unit wouldn't get the job done. You know, so in the end of the day, it is a legit technique. Spam, simple as.
You also have to understand what the AI is too, and that's been another thing that's been a little inconsistent, and I was a little unhappy with. Like my primary air is the 5 Hellstorms, and I use 2 Thunderbolts. I use the 2 Thunderbolts at level 10. I use them for, you know, sniping platoons and stuff, quick kills for dogs, buggies, and they seem to take out the FAVs pretty good. And for the FAVs, when they run and separate and go off the map, and you're not able to target them, you turn Ruby on with those, and then they hunt them down. But you have to you know, back to the Hellstorms. I use my 5 Hellstorms, and I'll be in a base, I'll be attacking a rogue, and I'll be targeting specific targets and trying to take out all the anti-air, and all of a sudden I'll go to, you know, move the screen or make an adjustment, whatever I'm doing, deselect them, select them again, and all of a sudden the AI turns them, and they start shooting at a mortar tower that's next to 4 buildings, and the splash damage destroys all the buildings, and the next thing you know, I've got 60 angry heavy gunners running at me, and I'm taking damage on my Hellstorm before I can flick it out of the way.
I'm gonna cut you off there, Tim, because do you know what? In my personal experience in that situation, right? You would know by now as an experienced player how much damage your Hellstorm is gonna do, what your Hellstorm is gonna target next. What the next move that they're going to do without you actually controlling them. There's many people on the forum saying, oh, they need to stop this, they need to stop that. To be honest, I've never come across them. Do you know why? Because I know what they're going to do next. I know they're going to target a turret, or they're going to target the power plant. So what I do before I even get close to that situation, get into that situation, is I kill them purposely so that it doesn't happen.
I learned from that. I just blow everything up now. It doesn't even matter. In my way, I blow it up.
But there you go. There's your personal experience as a player, or as a good player. You know, you learn from that, and then you end up destroying anything that's going to get in your way. That's going to probably damage you. Which the last stand units are deadly. Yeah, they are deadly, but they're easily manageable, which a lot of people seem to not understand. You know, they say, "Oh, my elite Warhawks just destroyed a power plant, and all them units destroyed my elite Warhawk." Well, yeah. What did you expect? You've seen this in the past. Why haven't you learnt yet? You should learn from your mistakes. You know, this is a strategy game, and it's giving you problems. You should try to solve them problems in your own way. And if you can't solve them, then you know where to go. Quit. Play another game. Play Farmville. What most people would say.
Hey guys, speaking of last stand units, one of the spec ops that I got a chance to use that was really neat, and I really want to get it again, was one called Double Agent.
Is that the one with the suicide bombers?
That's the one where all the Last Stand units that
Fight for you.
buildings you're destroying fight for you. And I mean, oh man, that was pretty. I mean, you know, the guy was fighting it was level 35, 36, you know, with a really tight base.
Mm-hmm.
And with that particular spec off on it, it took me like 3 minutes to, I mean, completely flatten his base. Yeah, everything that got destroyed, you know, you hear it all come, Allah!
Yeah,
You know, and it was ugly. But
that's a great one if you want to distract some towers, man. That's great if you want to distract that, then you can land your missiles real easy.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, that one was sweet.
Yeah.
But there's one downfall to that one. I found. You have to you have to make sure that you have to make sure that sorry, that was my girl giving me a kiss. You have to make sure that you've got the ruby turned on, otherwise those units are not going to move. Especially when you've got suicide bomber as the thing, you know, they'll just stand there and not even do anything for you. But with ruby on, obviously they're going to start running towards turrets, units, whatever. That's the only downfall that I found with that Spec Ops.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but somebody who had used it had told me that. So, you know, what I did is I basically came in with Hellstorms and Hellfires, you know, after I'd mineswept the area that I wanted to come in. But I came in with Hellstorms and Hellfires and got them started shooting. And but before they destroyed the first building, I went ahead and clicked Ruby on. And like I said, after that, it was I just kicked back. You know, grab a cold drink and grab the smoke and just watch his base get annihilated.
You still got to pay attention a little bit though. You still got to if you have those units deployed, you still got to manage those units so that they just don't run in. But still, yeah, like you said, you just kick back and.
Yeah, I mean, you know, basically all I did is I double click on my Hellstorms, and, you know, and get them shooting at what I wanted them to shoot at next, and then, you know, double click my Hellfires, get them to start shooting at what I wanted to hit next. But yeah, you know, you still gotta pay attention. I mean, it's in backyard monsters. You know, you drop your monsters and
the legendary rocket and backyard monsters. Guess what? You've changed, buddy. You've changed. You've come over to War Commanders. That's your game now. You can forget about backyard monsters now. Kicksay, you hear that? Oh, you know what, Rocket? You know what the big saying for Kicksay is? As long as you're playing our game, we don't care what type of game you're playing.
That's right.
That's what that's what they're all concerned about.
Now, Jano, what do you know about the upcoming event?
To be honest, mate,
how does it work? How do you get these elite units? How does that work?
What do you mean to elite units?
Yeah, I mean, that's the prize for this next event, right?
No one said anything about prizes yet.
No, I haven't heard anything about prizes.
There's only one prize that I know of so far, and that's going to be a type of unit that can go into a platoon, but it's an anti-air and it flies. That's all I know.
Yeah, I've heard some chatter about that too. I heard Rocket Man, you know, or
not Rocket Man. That's a load of bullshit. Yeah. That's not going to happen, is it?
You know, I know. That's just people speculating and stuff. But rumor I hear is it's going to be an all-attack unit or all-attack event.
Yeah, it's going to be an all-attack event. So far, there's only one known unit that that's been hinted on the forum, and that's pretty much the anti-air unit that can fly, but it's going to be part of our platoon. So I don't exactly know how that's going to work. Whether it's going to be a truck that's going to deploy units, or it's going to be a unit that can physically fly and go after the enemy air units. But you've got to bear it in mind. There's going to be a few downfalls to that because we've just lost Rocket there. There's going to be a few downfalls to that because what do you call it? there's the Thunderbolt, the Raptors. They're all too fast. How will it even keep up with these units? You know, unless it's got a homing missile of its own. You know.
And then somebody else was also talking about, and I saw this on the forum, high altitude air versus low altitude air. Raptors, Thunderbolts being high altitude, and Condors being high altitude air, and then low altitude air, you know, being all the other ones.
Yeah, but that's
all the non-fixed wing.
That's another thing about the what do you call it? The Condor can be targeted by Reaper drones, and they're only meant to be for low altitude units, aren't they?
I know. That's what the guy made a valid point about that. You know, Stingers usually are high altitude targeting. You know, well, Stingers have a wide range. In reality, they have a wide range.
Yeah, they're an overall unit for anti-air units.
Yeah, but like the Reaper drone, like you said, shouldn't be able to fly to theoretically 30,000 feet to hit a B-2 bomber, and also be able to, you know, take out a Cobra.
That's correct. But hey, you know, at the end of the day, it's a game. We play it the way how the creators created it. But my personal opinion about the updates that's been back to back, virtually back to back, you know, is they're not giving us time to have fun with the updates. They're not, you know, Kickstarter. If you're listening to or watching this video later on, you know, you guys are not giving the players the time, the fun, the experience in your updates, buddies. You know, I think you need to slow it down a little bit here, because it's not the case of us getting bored. It's more the case that we're not getting the fun out of your updates, where we're putting the effort into it. The next minute, there's going to be another update that's going to totally ruin the update that you guys have just done, which is, you know, it's a load of bullshit. You know, as a long-time player, in my personal opinion, and from a lot of
get nerfed.
Sorry?
What was that?
Rocket?
You said something. We couldn't hear you. Rocket?
Hello.
Oh, I said, or something is gonna get nerfed.
Yeah.
Hello.
You're on. We can hear you now. See, something is not going to get nerfed, because the level 11 units of veterans are making everything a lot stronger. So I can't see that happening, because if they do that, all they're doing is contradicting themselves by giving us the powerful units and then making it useless again. You know, it's exactly the same as.
Well, here's something I want to say. I remember when it was Black Guns, Hellfires, you know, mortars, machine guns. Then all of a sudden they came out with the second generation weapons. They came out with plasmas, they came out with lasers, they came out with rocket barrages, and these were all event prizes. And, you know, now there's the cryo, there's the shock turret, and boom, they came out.
Napalm turret.
The napalm turret too. So they made bases so difficult because of all the variety of weapons that were combating you. So then they came out with level 9 units, level 10 units. Now they're coming out with veteran units. I think they're just trying to balance it out, because
they're not balancing anything out. They're ruining it.
Well, I mean, no, but I mean, you have to.
Come on, Timothy. You got to admit it, buddy. I mean,
you're right, and you're right, and from our skill standpoint and our level of gameplay. But you also have to think about, you know, the average player that doesn't play every day.
Exactly. All right. You know, now you're going.
That don't have those skills.
Rocket, are you falling asleep, buddy? That was a bad.
I thought that was a plane flying by.
I thought someone's gonna.
Actually, it was.
Really?
What the fuck? Where do you live? No. This is exactly, you know, what you're saying about the average player.
Big Air Force base.
Oh, okay.
Right. What you're saying about the average player, right, is with all these updates, man, they're not even going to experience any of the past updates. You know, where we can experience a little bit of the past updates, The average player is not even going to touch them because they have to try to keep, try to keep experiencing.
Catching up from the event.
I wouldn't say catching up because I try not to use catching up word because it's been overused on the forums because lower levels think that catching up it's a must in the game. It's not. It's nothing about catching up. You
can only upgrade one at a time anyway.
Exactly.
What's the point of What's the point of acquiring 8 units when you're going to have 7 sit there? When you're going to only upgrade the one.
Precisely the point. This is why I say, when Kixeye give out these updates, they should consider about us players and have we experienced it long enough? Do we? What the? Have we had time to really feel what the updates was about? Because 90% of the time, I can bet you any money the average player wouldn't have. I bet you the average player doesn't even have any missiles built yet. I don't know what you're doing, Rocket. Yeah. I'm gonna have to mute you.
Nah, it's a couple airplanes flying by.
I've just muted him. Fucking. Right, you can shut up now, Rocket. Yeah, like I was saying, the average player is never gonna ever feel or experience the updates. Unlike us hardcore players that play all the time and spend the playing time on the game instead of doing other things like watching porn or something like that. Sorry. But yeah. Anyway, how are the average players going to experience the updates when so many things come back to back? Even though level 10 units was in February or something like that, it makes no difference. There's still people trying to get up to level 10 units, and they're not going.
This game is going to be constantly evolving.
Yeah, but do you not think there's the evolution of the game is fine? I open my arms to it, but when it happens too fast, do you not think that Kixeye could have been fixing a bug instead of trying to give us an update, and then postponing the update to get things fixed? You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
As much as I open my arms to all the updates, it makes no difference to me because there's a lot more important things that the one-man decision maker needs to really focus on. And is the gamers going to be happy with it? Do they find that it's going to be a productive update? Because if it's not, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people and they're just going to end up upping and going. And that's going to be 99% of the people because that's 99% average players of the game. There's only a small minority of us hardcore players, and that's not going to make up for the game, is it? I mean, you Timmy, Data King, Rocket, agree to disagree, please. Oh. Are you still muted, Rocket? Rocket? Say something, buddy. You're not...
It's got it muted.
I got muted. I don't need to say, obviously, I don't need to say anything.
I muted you because you I don't know, there was crap going around. Ah, you motherfucker. Yeah, cheers for that.
You muted me.
No, you muted me. We're playing that game, Rocket, are we? Look, Rocket, the reason why we're doing this is so that we don't have to pay attention to Lycan and his burping and his muting and his childish acts.
Right. Because Lycan is nasty. He's nasty.
Have you heard the recent news about him getting all the complaints? Sorry, what was that?
I wear a hoodie, but it was too hot.
Do you not?
Wear a hoodie, but it was too hot.
You do know why he wears that hoodie, don't you?
What's he got? No hair?
No.
I don't know. I've never seen him without it. So.
If you look at his picture, the hoodie's on his profile picture. If you look at the emblem that's on it, you'll see what the emblem is, and then you'll be jealous about it.
It's a Kickside hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go to the mall and get a Kickside hoodie made up.
Yeah, but it's fake. Anyway,
So hey, listen, I put the name of my page up down here. Jana will post a link, but this is if you're looking on Facebook and you wanna come and you join the page. I'm constantly putting new things up, things I see on the forum. Hold on, I'm constantly putting new things.
do the players get tips on your page?
I put up tips as far as attacking road bases, sickle bases, just general good platoon layouts as far as what you want to put in your platoon, things like that.
Have you got a YouTube channel? Then can people watch
I
you?
don't have a YouTube channel.
You don't have a YouTube
No,
channel?
not yet. I do, but I haven't gotten around to making any videos yet. I've been pretty busy for a little while, so.
Oh.
But yeah, I'll get around to doing it, and I'll start it probably after this next event. But this is the name of my page down here, War Commander Information and Advice page. If you look it up on Facebook, pop it there, and you'll be able to see it. And I accept everyone.
Have we got any last words from you there, Tim? Data King, before we end the show. Any last words?
Any last words? No, it's been nice talking with everyone, and maybe I'll hopefully see you guys on Battle Vortex coming next Wednesday.
Yeah, you definitely will be, because you're already part of it, so they will see you. What about you, Rocket? Any last words, mate, without your rockets actually flying over your head and making all that noise?
Clever. Hey guys, keep in mind, you make friends on games like these, and sometimes you and your friends will find yourselves on the opposite sides of a war. That's not really a reason to unfriend people and stuff like that. That this past war,
wouldn't that be childish just to do that? If I ended up going against your clan, which is never going to happen because I'm a solo player, so I can't really take on a clan to myself. But I'm not.
I mean, don't just because you find yourself on the opposite side of something, like I said, this little thing we had last week, or my involvement in it last week, there was people that have been friends of mine in the game, pretty much since I started playing, that unfriended me because we were on opposite sides.
Wow.
That kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
I mean that kind of bothered me a little bit. Remember, it's a game. And it's a social game. You meet people. Just go out and kill each other and have a good time.
Yep.
That's right.
We do that a lot. I mean, like Timothy attacked my base with full spamming FAVs, and I didn't take any personal. I didn't take that personal. I actually opened my arms to it. In fact, it was me that asked him to do that.
Yeah.
So
It's fun. Hey, it's not every day you get 1,000 gold where you can just click repair and not worry about it. So
yeah, exactly.
I was loving it.
Now, unless of course you're a hacker / cheater, and in that case, burn in hell.
Yeah. Hey, another thing, I didn't say this, but if you do suspect somebody of putting a glitch or anything like that, and you think that they're spamming clone units or anything like that, get their user ID, report them. If they're pointing,
it's hard. This is another thing why I don't really like to talk about it, because it's hard to tell who's coining and cheating.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I can tell.
I can tell. When in doubt, report them and let them sort it out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
That's all I want to say about that.
cheating ruins the game for everybody.
All right.
Indeed.
That's correct. Anyway, guys, hopefully any one of you guys that watches Battle Vortex will enjoy this just as much as Battle Vortex. This is going to be a Timothy Data King is going to be on every show on Battle Vortex from now onwards. we'll probably find Rocket falling us or still sleeping in some of the shows and not turning up again. As and as for myself, you all know me. I'm gonna be on the show all the time anyway. This is I don't know. This what can we call this? This is fans show War Commanders, and I hope you guys enjoy whatever we just talked about. Anyway, this over and out. See you later, boys. Say bye, Tim.
Bye.
Rocket.
Bye, Tim.
Bye, Tim.
Bye, Rocket.